Hello everyone, welcome to our channel CodeChef. This is Kusmulata Bhatt and today we are going to solve the problem Fall in Love from CodeChef platform, which is of Cakewalk difficulty level. It requires no prerequisites. So let's understand the problem statement first. It's really a hard time at Ducks because we are gonna miss our loved seniors. There are n seniors at Ducks and for each I, the ith senior visits Ducks AI times every 30 days. But it's not all concrete, so nothing can be said firmly in this regard. The probability of finding all the seniors at Ducks is known as the fall in love probability P. Surprisingly, after a lot of rigorous research, it has been found that this probability can be expressed mathematically using a closed formula and that it does show strange result. And it can be mathematically expressed as P equal to 1 upon 10 n pi summation from I equal to n ai, where pi is, you know what it is. Sadly, it can also be proved mathematically that this probability under the given constraint can never be equal to 1. That is, the probability is going to lie between 0 and 1, but it is not going to be 0 or 1 ever. So now what we are given with the values ai and we have to calculate p value using this formula 1 upon 10 n pi sigma I equal to 1 to n ai, and we have to simply output this p value. So let's understand the input format. The first line of the input contains a single integer t denoting the number of test cases. Then the description of t test cases follow. The first line of each test case contains an integer n. The second line contains n space separated integers a1, a2 to an. Now for the output format, for each test case print a single line containing the real number p. Your answer will be considered correct if its absolute or relative error does not exceed 10 to the power minus 6. For the constraints, t value is going to lie between 1 and 10 to the power 5, n value is going to lie between 1 and 10 to the power 5, and ai value ranges from 1 to 30, and sum of n over all test cases does not exceed 10 to the power 6. Now let's see how we can solve this problem. So this problem is simple. It says to calculate the p value, which is given by 10 n pi sigma I equal to 1 to n ai. So what we can do, we can first calculate this sum of the ai values and we can replace it, let's say, by some variable which is containing the sum of these ai, and then we can simply divide it by 10 n pi. And here we have to make sure that we are providing the pi value up to the large decimal places so that the precision of the answer is maintained. So let's see how we can implement this solution. So at first we have to take the input of t test cases, and then for every test case we will be taking the input of n, and then we have to take the input of n values and we have to simply calculate their sum. So what we can do here, we can simultaneously calculate the sum as we take the input. We need not to store those ai values somewhere because we are not using those values later. So let's reduce space here and calculate the sum as we take the input of the ai values. So what we can do here, for I equal to 1 to n, we are taking the input of ai value, let's say x, and then we are simply adding it to our sum. And then for our answer, what we are doing, we are simply dividing our sum by 10 into n into pi. Let's say we calculated the value of pi as cos inverse minus 1, or we can also hardcode the value of pi as 3.14592 and so on. And after that we have to simply print the answer. Now the time complexity is going to be O of n per test case, and here the sum of the n over all test cases is not going to exceed 10 to the power 6, so our solution will pass. Now let's have a look on the C++ code for the problem. Here we are setting the precision of Cout, and then we are calculating the pi value as cos inverse 1, and then we are taking the input of t test cases. Then for every test case we are taking the input of n and we are initializing our answer as 0.0. So what we are doing, we are not initializing some variable here, we are simply calculating the sum in answer, and then we are dividing our answer by 10 pi n, and then we are simply printing our answer. Now let's have a look on the Python code. So here we are taking the input of t test cases directly, and then for every test cases what we are doing, we are taking the input of n value, and then we are taking the input of list, and then we are calculating its sum, and then we are simply printing the answer as s by 10n mat.py. So on running it on sample test cases, we see that it is giving us the correct answer as here. So let's submit the solution, and we can see that it is giving the correct answer here. So this is it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching.